Hello students, good morning everybody. Today I will discuss an introduction to CVS examination. CVS means cardiovascular examination. Now first we start from the symptoms of cardiovascular disorder. Now first of all you can see that the three main cardinal symptoms of cardiovascular disorders are dyspnea, second is dyspnea, second is palpitation, and third one is the chest pain. So these are the three cardinal features of cardiovascular disorder. Now there are also minor symptoms that we have discussed later on. Still I am just telling you that there is an weight gain, increased fatigue, and there is a cough with hemoptysis, and there is also ascites, and there is a pedal edema or like that. So we will discuss later on, and we will start from the dyspnea. What is actually a dyspnea? Now you see, as the definition it is given by Braunwald, an abnormal, uncomfortable awareness of one's own breathing. Abnormal, uncomfortable awareness of one's breathing. Now normally what you look for, the breathing is an automatic process and it doesn't come to our conscious mind. So whenever it comes to our conscious mind, you become dyspneic or breathlessness. Here is two terms is used. One is breathlessness, another one is dyspnea. So dyspnea is actually a clinical terminology and the breathlessness is a common people term. So you can feel dyspneic or you can feel a breathlessness when you have done moderate to severe exercise such as a speedy run or climbing up stairs or like this, and you become breathless. But this is always not abnormal dyspnea, because whenever you are a normal subject, whenever you take rest, it will come on. But in some patients, you can see that a minor activity, just raising from bed or going to toilet or like that, or even at rest, patients are dyspneic. And this is actually an abnormal, uncomfortable awareness of own breathing. So it is defined by the Braunwald, and dyspnea is one of the most important things about the cardiovascular disorder as well as the chest disorders like that. Now, what are the physiologic components of dyspnea? One is the mechanoreceptors, and there is hypoxia, and if there is a change in partial pressure of carbon dioxide and pH, which is sensed by the medullary centers, and medullary centers taking the afferent and efferent pathways, and cortical functions, which actually gives our sensation of discomfort of dyspnea. Now, if you see the mechanoreceptors, when there is an receptors are present over the chest wall, present over the upper respiratory tract, over the face, and are like this, and in the face region, it is by the trigeminal nerves or like that. And if you see that who are dyspneic, if you give the fresh air to the face or if you give the cold water at the face, they becomes slightly improved in the dyspneic condition. So these are the mechanoreceptors. And you can see the hypoxia is detected by carotid and aortic body. They are sending signals to the medullary respiratory centers, and accordingly our respiratory rate and respiratory depth and respiratory problems are actually guided over by the centers. And third one is the fourth one is the medullary centers taking afferent and efferent signals, and cortical functions are also there. Now, in the lungs, there are several receptors are there who are responsive during the dyspnea, such as the juxtacapillary or receptors or J receptors. They are stimulated when there is a congestion of the blood within the capillaries of the respiratory or the lungs, and there is also some irritant receptors are present over the alveoli, and they are producing the tightness and compression of the chest wall, and there is also pulmonary stage receptors who are also responsive during the congestion. Now, one thing is the condition when abnormal condition when there is a dyspnea in cardiovascular disorder is actually a heart failure. Now you know during the heart failure, dyspnea and exercise intolerance is one of the most important symptoms of the patient. Now, in the heart failure, why dyspnea appears? It is actually the two hypotheses are put forward in this condition. One is called the lung hypothesis, another is called the skeletal muscle hypothesis. Now, I am discussing about the symptoms of cardiovascular disorder. As you know, I started from the dyspnea. So, what is the dyspnea in case of the heart failure? You see, there are two hypotheses are put forward. One is the lung hypothesis, another one is the skeletal muscle hypothesis. As you know, in the heart failure, the ventricular filling pressure is increased, and there is increase in the pulmonary capillary pressure and pulmonary capillary congestion. All this will lead to pulmonary interstitial edema, and this will cause stimulation of the J receptors and also stimulation of the Herring-Brewer reflex, and this will cause rapid and shallow breathing. Not only that, there is perivascular coughing and there is early closure of the bronchioles, and this will produce a dyspnea. Number two, the important thing is that lung becomes stiff and it is less compliant, and this will all lead to dyspnea. Then another important thing is the cause of dyspnea, the skeletal muscle hypothesis. In skeletal muscle hypothesis, what happened that due to systemic inflammatory response during heart failure, there is release of cytokines, and these are the pro-inflammatory cytokines like interleukin-1, interferon, etc. And this will produce a state of cardiomyopathy of the skeletal muscle. And when there is a myopathy in the peripheral muscle, this will produce a fatigue. And when it comes to the inspiratory muscles, this will produce a dyspneic sensation. Not only that, the ergoreceptors which are present in the ailing muscle, they will stimulate another important reflex which will cause the ergo reflex, and these ergo reflex stimulation lead to sympathetic overdrive, and there is dyspneic feeling. Now, about the dyspnea, we must discuss about the defined forms of dyspnea. Now, first thing I will discuss, one thing is the orthopnea, then paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, bendopnea and trepopnea. So, they are the different variants of the dyspnea. First, I discuss the orthopnea. Orthopnea means there is a dyspnea on recumbency. So, you see some of the patient, when they lie down, there is dyspnea. But normal person has no dyspnea while lying down. And clinically, you can assess a patient is orthopnic when he requires two pillows in the bed for his rest, and he will not be dyspneic on that time. What is the cause of dyspnea, orthopnea? The cause of orthopnea is when we lie down, there is redistribution of the blood and fluid from the peripheral blood and splanchnic vascular bed to the lung. And if there is a heart failure, this extra amount of blood cannot be handled by the heart, and thus it produces a dyspnea. Next, there is PND, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea. It is found in case of NIHA classification of heart failure 1 and 2 functional classification, the stage 1 and stage 2. In this condition, patient when lies down, he goes to sleep, suddenly wakes up after 2 to 3 hours of sleep and rushes to the window for fresh air. He is dyspneic and starts coughing with expectoration of mucus mixed with sputum mixed with frothy sputum mixed with pink colored blood. So this is called the PND or paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea. This is very important in case of left ventricular failure, especially it occurs 2 to 3 hours of sleep, and when within the REM rapid eye movement sleep on this occasion, the patient becomes dyspneic. The third one is we see the bendopnea. Bendopnea, when we bend within the 30 seconds, we become dyspneic. This is due to the increased filling pressure of the right and left ventricle. And another important is trepopnea. And in case of trepopnea, when there is a diseased lung and when the patient lies down on the diseased part, he becomes dyspneic. This is also redistribution of the blood from the periphery as well as from the splanchnic bed to the lungs. Now, with this help, we have to assess what is the severity of dyspnea. So, there is a visual analog scale or VAS, and in the modified Borg classification, we can describe a scale. We start from 0 and up to the 10. 0 means there is no dyspnea, and 10 means the very severe dyspnea, and in between the different forms of dyspnea are present. So we have to classify dyspnea and severity of the dyspnea with the help of the visual analog scale, and this is actually under the modified Borg classification. Now next one, you can see the other important features of cardiovascular disorder is palpitation, and third one is the chest pain. These two are more important. Now what is the palpitation? It is an uncomfortable feeling of a person of his heart beating. So sometimes the patient may complain that his heartbeat he can feel the heartbeat and there is a very rapid heartbeat, and this may reduce to dyspnea, and always sometimes it is actually terminating into the syncopal attack. Now palpitation may occur in cardiac cases or non-cardiac cases also. So when we are very much anxious because at least when you appear in the exam in front of the examiner, you feel palpitation. So this is a psychological palpitation. But in cardiovascular disorder, palpitation may happen. There are several types of arrhythmia. We call it the tachyarrhythmia. When there is palpitation, is a major feature of cardiovascular disorder. Now, these tachyarrhythmias are atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter, as well as the ventricular fibrillation, and also in case of the ectopic beats, ventricular ectopics, and also in case of atrioventricular re-entrant tachycardia. All these produce palpitation. You have to see whether the palpitation is due to cardiac or non-cardiac. If it is in cardiac, you have to classify whether it is tachyarrhythmia and what type of tachyarrhythmia you have to determine over ECG examinations or others. The third one is the most important one, is the chest pain. Now, typical chest pain may be of cardiac origin and non-cardiac origin. There are several conditions of non-cardiac origin in chest pain, but I am discussing here the chest pain with cardiac complication. Now, first one, ischemic heart disease may produce chest pain, and we call it an angina. What is a typical angina? There are three features of typical angina. Number one is the substernal pain. Number two, it is actually found when there is an exercise or the patient is an emotional outbreak, and it is relieved by the rest always, or sometimes we have to give nitroglycerin to terminate the chest pain. So this is a typical feature of the typical anginal pain. Sometimes this anginal pain may radiate to the arms, left side or both sides, both left and right side. You can the patient can feel this type of pain. And another important thing is there are some patients who presents with a typical angina may have acute coronary syndrome, ACS, and this acute coronary syndrome is a very life-threatening condition, and the clinician must observe the patient for ACS or not, because ACS may produce the death of the patient within 1 month. Now, in case of the non-cardiac chest pain, it may be of pulmonary origin, such as pulmonary embolism, or it may be pulmonary infarction, or it may be pleurisy or pleuritis. But sometimes pericarditis may cause chest pain, though pericardium is insensitive to pain. But when this pericarditis will really affect the pleural surfaces, then it becomes a very problematic, and there is a pain in the chest, and there is also costochondritis, costochondral junctions, and there is musculoskeletal pain are also that we have to make sure that whether you are dealing with a patient with cardiovascular disorder or non-cardiac disorder. Now, another important thing, examination of the neck veins. So, neck vein examination, there's a very detailed study you have to do in your classes better. And so, I have to conclude the introduction of CVS examination with some special features like how the patient actually presents with cardiovascular disorder, and I have explained all the cause of the main three features of cardiovascular disorder is chest pain and palpitation and dyspnea. So in the later classes, you will see how to examine one's pulse, blood pressure recording, the apical impulse and heart sounds. Thank you.